I want to thank Super Rare Games for sending us a copy of this game to review. I like platformers, it's easily my favourite genre. I also love games with grapple hooks. Maybe this comes from watching the characters in Attack on Titan swing around the environment as they fight, or maybe it goes as far back as using the hook shot to get around in Ocarina of Time. Either way, I've always had fun with games that let you just swing around, and so Grapple Dog was a title that immediately grabbed my interest just from the name alone. Platforming, grapple hooks, and a cute pupper? What more could I ask for? But while this might sound like the recipe for a fantastic time, I've played enough mediocre platformers in my day to never judge a game by its premise alone. So did Grapple Dog hook me, or did it miss its shot? Let's find out. There are lots of types of platformers out there. Series like Mario, Kirby, and Sonic all play very differently from each other. Some are precision-based platformers, while others are action or puzzle-based. If I had to describe Grapple Dog, I would call it a momentum-based platformer. The game does involve various level puzzles, like hitting switches to open doors, and has many precision elements to it, like getting accurate jumps on enemies or baiting platforms to fall down so you can ride them up. But it's clear from playing just a little bit that keeping your character's momentum through movement is the most pivotal and most enjoyable part of the game. This really isn't a surprise. By its very nature, swinging on a rope pushes or maintains forward momentum, and that alone would be enough to classify this. But the game also has other techniques that Pablo, our canine hero, can perform, like the classic wall jump, dash, and ground pound. That ladder move though actually acts as a drop dash, as Pablo will bounce out of it and push onwards at high speeds, like a bouncy ball. This move's great, and overall the player's arsenal is wonderful. It makes the time attack mission a real treat to play through. While speedrunning through this game is an option, to advance from world to world you will need to collect the purple gems in each level. Every stage has 7 in total, 5 hidden throughout and 2 for collecting a certain amount of grapes, tangerines, tomatoes? This game's equivalent to Mario's coins. Some of these you can find along the beaten path, but many will require a thorough explanation of the level, or solving a platforming challenge of some kind. They add some great replayability to the game, and if you die, you don't lose them, the game just resets you back to the checkpoint. Grapple Dog has a lot of player-friendly features like this. Its accessibility features are quite neat, letting the player become invulnerable and having infinite jump, and this can be turned on by a simple flip of the switch. I never needed it myself, #humblebrag, but the more options for players to enjoy if need be, the better. That said, I do wish there was an option to remap the buttons. For the most part it's fine, but on the Switch the default button to press in order to make menu selections and enter worlds is B and not A, and I really don't like that. It's a small nitpick, but one that really threw me off. A bigger complaint I do have though is the music pacing in the game. Not the actual songs themselves, as they add a lot of excitement to the title and they fit the overall tone of the game greatly. The problem comes from how frequent they are and how they sometimes don't match the individual setting of the level. It doesn't matter if I really jived to the song the first time I heard it, having to listen to it 5 levels in a row eventually caused it to where it's welcome. And when these stages were jumping between plains to caves to flying towns, and each one had the same backing track, they began to blend together a little. Part of the presentation I do like though are the aesthetics. The thick outlines and small characters give this game a Game Boy Advance feel, which I think is an aesthetic not utilised enough in the indie scene. The characters also speak in a Rareware-esque mumble and have different facial expressions to get across their mood quite well. As for the story itself, it does a good job of contextualising why all these enemies have cropped up and why it's our hero's job to stop them, both from the personal perspective and the world-ending perspective. The writing is colourfully written and consistent, and is used quite well to explain new level mechanics to the player, like flipping over crabs to make springs or boosting through water bubbles. All in all, Grapple Dog was a highly enjoyable platformer with a lot of charm and, most importantly, felt fun to play. Exploring each world to collect the gems helped me to come to grips with the mechanics and stages that I could then show off masterfully in the game's time attack mode. Its style is good, and while the music eventually got too repetitive for me, that just gave me a reason to listen to podcasts while I played without feeling guilty. Grapple Dog is well worth its price, and one that platforming fans should definitely pick up. Even if you only have a passing interest in the genre, if you are keen to try out something new or something not a part of the big platforming franchises for once, the Grapple Dog is certainly a great option. Plus, you can pet the dog. Oh, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? I want to thank Super Rare Games once again for sending us a copy of this game to review as their first officially published title as like an original games publisher. I hope this does them well, because it definitely deserves all the attention it should hopefully get. And for all you lovely viewers watching, let us know if you are going to plan on pick up the game now, or if you're already planning on picking up the game. I want to give a special shout out to all of our patrons. The $5 up ones are appearing on screen right now, and you can join them by looking at the link in the comments below. There's also going to be a written version of this review on our website. A link to that is also below. And if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and always remember to return to the source.